Malaga Radio.
Freshly squeezed.
The juice on all the daily events along the coast.
With just a little bit of zest.
Hola mis amores and welcome back to the Malaga Radio Weekly Diary, your friendly guide to what's happening across the Costa del Sol this week from Monday the 15th to Sunday the 21st of September.
Every week we gather the festivals, concerts, exhibitions, food fairs and sports that give this coast its heartbeat. And we share them with you like friends, swapping tips over coffee.
You can always find the full blog version of the diary on malagaradio.com with links to all the events. And don't forget, the podcast lives everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, even Alexa. Just say, Alexa, play Malaga Radio Weekly Diary, and we'll pop right up.
And this week's episode is a little different. Alongside the usual events, we've got a special spotlight, the first in a two-part series about what Malaga Radio actually is.
Because we're not radio, as you know it. We're a mix of daily shows, podcasts, blogs, and events, all designed to connect you with the Costa del Sol.
So today, in part one, we'll take you through the shows from Morning with Freshly Squeezed to the late nights of Lipstick and Heels and show you how they fit into your day here on the coast.
And then next week, part two will be all about the podcasts. But for now, let's dive into the hub and then into the week's festivals, culture, food, music, and sport.
Malaga Radio.
Buenos dias, mis amores. Today's weekly diary has a special flavor. Instead of just looking out across the Costa del Sol, we're looking inward at what makes Malaga Radio tick. Because this isn't radio as you know it. It's a hub, a home base you carry in your pocket. With shows, podcasts, blogs, and daily events to make your week flow.
And before we get too poetic, let's clear something up. People sometimes ask, why don't you broadcast on FM? The truth, FM here on the Costa del Sol is like a game of hide and seek. Strong in one town, gone the next. Driving from Torremolinos to Marbella, be twisting the dial more than enjoying the show.
But with the app, simple. One tap on your phone and we're there. In the car, walking the paseo, lounging in your holiday apartment, or even when you're back home in London, Copenhagen, Berlin. It's Malaga Radio everywhere, not just when the frequency feels like cooperating.
And here's another one we hear, but I'm not in Malaga, I'm in Marbella. The truth is, Malaga is the whole province, the coast, the mountains, all these towns strung together.
And that's the beauty. It's more connected than you think. One day you're on the beach in Estepona, the next you're wandering Nerca's caves, then up in Ronda with that jaw-dropping bridge. The name Malaga is the thread that ties it all together.
Exactly. It's not about one city. It's about giving you permission to see a bit more, to stretch beyond your hotel or favorite paseo. And those side trips, they're the memories people talk about for years.
So when we say Malaga Radio, we're not narrowing it down. We're opening it up. It's a whole canvas. So let's take you through a day with us. From sunrise to the small hours, the hub flows with your day. And where else to start but the morning lifeline? Freshly squeezed.
If you've ever tuned in between 8 and 11, you know Carmen and I host this one together. Freshly Squeezed is the show that sets you up for the day, coffee in hand, headphones on, and a smile before you've even stepped outside.
We always say it's like having a friend at the table. We talk weather, we talk traffic, but never in a boring way. It's about how the day feels. Is it bright and breezy, sticky and still? Perfect for a morning dip, or maybe a museum day instead.
And then there's the events. This coast is packed. Varied concerts, artisan markets, beach festivals. Freshly Squeezed is where you hear what's happening today, tonight, and even what's coming tomorrow. Just enough to spark an idea.
Exactly. We're not giving you a 2-hour lecture on flamenco history at 9 in the morning. We're giving you that nudge. Hey, there's a feria parade in Millas tonight. Don't miss the lights and music. And if you want more, that's where the Weekly Diary podcast comes in.
Right. Freshly Squeezed gives you the taste and the diary is the deep dive. On Mondays, we drop a full episode covering the whole week ahead. Festivals, culture, food, nightlife, sports. Carmen and I record it like a friendly sit down, but it's packed with detail.
And tourists love that they can plan ahead. Imagine you just landed Saturday night, you wake up Sunday, tune in to Freshly Squeezed, and then you find the Weekly Diary on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Suddenly you know where to eat, where to party, which traditions are unfolding.
And not just tourists, locals too. People who lived here for years still message us saying, I had no idea that was happening in Nerca. Thanks. That's the joy of Freshly Squeezed. It doesn't assume you know everything. It's like we're all discovering the Costa together.
And let's not forget the tone. I like to think I bring the sparkle, a little romance in how I talk about the feria lights or the smell of fresh churros.
And I keep us grounded. Research, the traffic, weather, the practical stuff you need. Together it balances out.
That's why people trust us. Freshly Squeezed isn't just noise in the background. It's the morning compass, and in a place as colorful as the Costa del Sol, a compass is a good thing to have.
So that's how the day begins inside the Malaga Radio Hub with Carmen, Sparkle, my research, and your coffee cup.
And after the morning compass, well, that's when we stretch our legs, because from 11 to 2, it's time to feel the pulse. By late morning, the Costa is wide awake, the coffee's kicking, the patio's buzzing, and it's the perfect time to move. That's where Feel the Pulse comes in.
And rather than us telling you about it, we asked Lumi to record something special for this episode. Just a few lines on what her part of the show is really about.
Hola, I'm Lumi, and Feel the Pulse is where we lace up and get moving. For me, it's about wellness and flow. Hiking trails through Monte de Malaga, sunrise yoga by the sea, or that first gentle cycle along the coast. It's about finding energy in the landscape without rushing it.
That's so Lumi. Even when she talks about cycling uphill, it sounds relaxing.
Exactly. And the beauty is, if you want more than just a taste, Lumi dives much deeper in the Active Adventures podcast. On air, it's a nudge. On demand, it's a full guide. Of course, Feel the Pulse isn't just about hiking and yoga. Mitch brings the prestige, golf, sailing, racket sports. We ask him to record a quick thought for this special.
Hello, I'm Mitch. For me, Feel the Pulse is about the prestige side of Costa del Sol life. Golf on some of the world's best courses, sailing days on the Med, a game of paddle or tennis in the sun. It's that blend of sport and lifestyle that makes this coast unique.
That's Mitch all over. Classy, but always with an easy grin. He makes golf sound like a beach walk. And if you're after something with a little more bite, there's Finn. He recorded this one just for the special.
Night Finn, and my corner of Feel the Pulse is about chasing that rush. Paragliding over the cliffs, canyoning down rivers, or rock climbing at El Chorro. It's not for everyone, but if you try it once, you'll never forget it.
Only Finn could make jumping off a mountain sound like booking a deck chair. Together, they make Feel the Pulse a buffet of options. And what I like, it's never preachy. Nobody's saying you must climb this mountain. It's here are the choices. Take what feels good.
And just like Freshly Squeezed has the Weekly Diary podcast, Feel the Pulse has its own podcast family, Active Adventures. That's where Mitch can go deeper into golf and sailing, or Lumi into wellness, or Finn into extreme sports. On the radio, it's a taste. On the podcast, it's the deep dive.
Which is clever because not everyone wants 20 minutes of padel talk at lunchtime. But for the people who do, it's there on demand.
So that's your late morning into early afternoon. A chance to get moving or just imagine moving while you're still on the sunbed.
When the clock strikes 2, Pia takes over. She sends us this little message for the special.
Hola, I'm Pia, and Factor 50 is my baby. It's where we talk beach bars, terrace lunches, spa days, and that slow, sun-kissed feeling you only get on the Costa. Whether it's a glass of something cold by the sea or a little wellness indulgence, I've got you covered. But I don't just lounge. I pop into Feel the Pulse and Active Adventures too, with my take on water sports across the coast. Paddleboarding, parasailing, jet skiing. If it involves getting wet and feeling alive, I'll try it once and talk about it twice. And when winter hits, I swap bikinis for ski boots. Factor 50 in the snow takes us up to Sierra Nevada where the sun still shines, just with snow underfoot. And wherever I am, it all ends the same way. Back to Carmen.
That's so Pia. She can make a beach bar or a mountain slope sound like the perfect place to be.
And it's more than beaches. She brings in attractions too, family parks, castles, even caves, because those are often afternoon adventures.
And she closes every link with her signature, back to the music. Listeners love it. It's like a wink at the end of a postcard.
Just like the others, there's a podcast connection. Pia's voice carries into the Spotlight series, where we do full features on a spa or a family attraction or a local ritual. And into Like a Local too, when we look at beach life from the inside.
So between 2 and 6, Factor 50 becomes that easy bridge. Music, beaches, attractions, and tips that make you feel like you found the secret spot.
By the time the sun is dropping, you've had your faria mornings, your active middays, your beach afternoons, and now it's time to eat, drink, and toasty evening, which is exactly where we're heading next.
By 6 o'clock, the light has shifted. The beach towels are packed away, and everyone's thinking about where to eat, what to drink, and how to ease into the night. That's when Daniel takes over with ice and a slice.
Daniel has that hospitality touch. He knows the Costa's restaurants, tapas bars, and cocktail spots like the back of his hand, and he serves it with music that feels like golden hour, smooth, easy, perfect for the first sip. He recorded this for the special too.
Buenas tardes, I'm Daniel. Ice and a Slice is all about the golden hour, that first drink on the table, the sunset starting to glow, and where you're heading for dinner. I share food tips, cocktail spots, and those local secrets that make an evening special.
What I love is how he balances it. One night, it's a high-end sky bar. The next, it's a family-run tapas place in a back street.
And it's not just food and drink. Daniel slips in hospitality culture too. The rhythm of dining in Spain, how late locals eat, why sharing plates matters. It's a gentle education wrapped in clinking glasses.
And of course, Daniel connects into our Out and About podcast series. That's where he can tell full stories about the restaurant, about the chef, about the local food tradition. On air, it's the taste. On the podcast, it's the feast.
So by the time his show wraps at 10, you're not just fed, you're primed. The night is calling, which is where the chaos begins.
Now we step into the late night chapter of the Hub. In November, from 10 until 2, the Costa del Sol gets dressed up. The DJs fire up, and Stevie and Amy take over with Lipstick and Heels.
This is the one that worried me. I thought, do we really need 4 hours of nightlife banter? But then you hear Stevie and Amy and you realize they're not trying to be nightclub insiders. They're giving the night a personality.
Stevie here. Lipstick and Heels is about that first cocktail, that first laugh, that feeling you've stepped into a movie night. We talk fashion, music, and where to be seen, from beach clubs to dance floors.
And I'm Amy. My job, keep Stevie honest. If she says the dress code's chic, I'll tell you who showed up in sneakers. We argue about which club has the best sound system or where to find the best remix classics. It's nightlife with a wing.
And that's the joy. It's cheeky, stylish, sometimes a little chaotic, but always fun.
And it's not random. The music identity is clear. House, remixes, EDM, it flows with the phases of a night out, upbeat before midnight, deeper into the early hours.
And yes, they'll soon have their own podcast too. The Drop, diving into DJs, festivals, and nightlife culture on the coast. That's where the scene talk belongs. On air, it's about the vibe.
And here's a little scoop. Lipstick and Heels makes its official debut this year on Halloween Friday, one of the biggest nights on the Costa del Sol. Costumes, cocktails, packed dance floors, the perfect night for a launch.
So if you ever wonder what the Costa feels like after dark, Stevie and Amy will be your guides. Lipstick, heels, music, and mischief. So that's the Malaga Radio Hub. From the first coffee in the morning to the last song at 2 a.m., there's a voice, a show, and a story to fit your day.
And what ties it all together is the app. Not chasing frequencies, not stuck in one town, but a hub that's with you wherever you are. Marbella, Nerca, Ronda, Fuengirola, even back home after the holiday.
And today was only part 1. The shows next week will take you deeper, because behind every show is a podcast. The Weekly Diary, Active Adventures, Spotlight, Out and About, The Drop. That's where the hub grows beyond daily radio.
So stay tuned for part 2. And in the meantime, get the app, find us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or just ask Alexa for Malaga Radio.
Plan a little, wonder a lot, and keep Malaga Radio in your pocket. Nos vemos, mis amores.
Malaga Radio.
And now, mis amores, let's talk about traditions. The big summer ferias might be behind us, but September hasn't gone quiet. It's just shifted inland. This week, it's all about smaller towns, agricultural roots, and fiestas with so much character.
Exactly. If you want fireworks, horses, music, and history all rolled together, Sunday the 21st is the date to mark. And that's when Torremolinos celebrates its Romería de San Miguel.
Oh yes, the Romería. Picture-decorated carts, riders in traditional dress, music floating through the streets, and the whole town walking together up to the Hermitage. It's not just a parade, it's a pilgrimage. one of the biggest in Andalusia.
And the timing's perfect because it rolls right into the Feria de San Miguel, which lights up Torremolinos for days afterwards. But that Sunday, the Romería is the heart of it.
And if you'd rather trade the coast for the Axarquia Hills, El Burgués is the place to be. Also on Sunday, the 21st, for the Dia de la Pasa.
This one's all about raisins, Malaga's little treasure. They celebrate the harvest with tastings, music, and the famous verdiales bands. Imagine streets full of grapes, drying on paseros, and everyone handing out raisins and sweet wine.
It's delicious and so charming, and the whole town joins in. You'll feel like part of a family.
And that's not all. Over in Archidona, the Zambra Morisca runs from the 19th to the 21st. It's a festival with Moorish roots. Think dances, theater, traditional markets, and performances filling the plazas.
So colorful. And if you fancy history with a dramatic twist, head to Algarrobo for La Quema, also from the 19th to 21st. It commemorates the town's heritage with music, food, and a big communal spirit.
And for food lovers, we'll talk more in the gastronomy segment, but the Fiesta de Cabra Malagueña and Casabermeja CEP 2021 deserves a mention here too. Goats everywhere and all the local dishes you can imagine.
Meanwhile, in Antequera, they're not missing out. They've got Bien Mi Sabe tastings, the Vendimia de Cuentos Storytelling Festival on the 20th, and on the 21st, Atardeceres con Arte. Open-air music as the sun sets. Antequera always finds a way to weave culture into tradition.
So, to sum it up, this week's festivals aren't about the massive rides and big stages of August. They're about tradition, flavor, and local pride. Torremolinos brings the big Romy area. El Boca shares its raisins. Archidona dances with Moorish heritage. El Garrobo lights up history, and the villages add their own flavors.
Smaller in scale, but big in heart. And if you're here this week, it's a wonderful way to feel Andalusia's roots.
And we've got the links and details, of course, waiting for you on MalagaRadio.net.
Stay with us, because up next, we're trading feria lights for gallery lights. It's time to dive into Malaga's cultural scene.
Malaga Radio.
So, after fiestas in the hills and romarias on the coast, let's slip into something a little more elegant. September here isn't only about ferias, it's also when Malaga leans into its culture.
And the city doesn't do things halfway. Take the Calle Fashion Week on the 19th and 20th, a 2-day open-air runway right down the marble street. Spotlights, models, cameras everywhere. It turns the heart of Malaga into a catwalk under the stars.
So atmospheric. Even if you don't sit front row, just standing along Larios, you feel the glamour, the mix of international designers and local style. And it's free to wander past, which makes it extra special.
Then there's theater, little drama for your diary. From the 18th to the 20th, the Teatro del Soho is staging Un Travial Amado Deseo, a Tennessee Williams classic in Spanish in one of the most beautiful theaters in town.
And the museums? Oh, where to begin? Picasso's birthplace has Guernica Despedajado until the 28th. Carmen Thyssen is showing American people, and the Pompidou is buzzing with its playtime, bright, playful installations.
Don't forget the Russian Museum. They've got an exhibition on Anna Pavlova, the legendary ballerina. And Mukak has Christina Lucas and Mona Kuhn running this month too.
Plenty to fill an afternoon, whether you love photography, painting, or performance.
And culture isn't just for the city. In Antequera on the 20th, there's the Vendimia de Cuentos Storytelling Festival. Family-friendly tales woven into the grape harvest season. And the very next day, the 21st, Atardecer con Arte brings music to the open air as the sun sets behind the mountains.
Fuengirola's Cultural Center has its own flavor too. A theater run of Un Catabar Inesperado and even a Sevillanas performance on the 16th. Small but charming.
So the story here is simple. The fireworks of summer have faded, but the lights are still on. In galleries, theaters, and cultural corners up and down the coast.
Exactly. September in Malaga is about depth. Fashion shows under the stars, exhibitions that make you pause, and little towns mixing culture with tradition.
And all the details, dates, times, links, you'll find on MalagaRadio.net.
And coming up next, after culture and couture, it's time to talk food. From raisins and goats to rooftop cocktails, we've got plenty on the menu. Don't go anywhere.
Malaga Radio.
After all that art and fashion, I think it's time we eat. September on the Costa del Sol is full of flavor, and this week the food festivals are as authentic as it gets.
First one's a classic, the Dia de la Pasa in El Borge. On Sunday the 21st, it's a whole day dedicated to the humble raisin. Streets lined with paseros drying grapes in the sun, verdiales, musicians, and of course sweet wine flowing with handfuls of raisins passed around for free.
It's such a charming fiesta, simple but heartfelt. You taste the harvest, you meet the neighbors, and you come away with sticky fingers and a big smile.
And then in Casabermeja the same weekend, it's the Fiesta la Cabra Malagueña. That's goat, the star of the show in every sense. Goat cheese, goat stews, cooking competitions, and a celebration of the farmers who keep the tradition alive.
I love it. It's rustic, it's real, and it's absolutely delicious.
If you're after something with a bit more polish, head back to the coast. On Saturday and Sunday, the 20th and 21st, Olivia's La Cala is putting on its dinner and show experience. Cocktails, live music, and plenty of glamour. It's a very different flavor of hospitality, but it makes for a memorable night.
And of course, the food story here isn't just events. September is harvest time inland, and there are wineries offering tours and tastings in Ronda, olive oil mills like Aceites Mulisur in Aljorín el Grant, even cooking workshops where you can learn to make paella or tapas with a local chef.
Not to mention the rooftops, Infinity in Fuengirola, Skybar Vermar, or the classic terraces in Malaga City. A sunset cocktail with the whole coast spread out in front of you is always a good idea.
So this week the theme is balance, the charm of village harvest festivals and the sparkle of coastal hospitality. From raisins and goats to champagne and sea views, there's a taste for every mood.
And you'll find all the details from festival programs to booking links on malagaradio.net.
Up next, it's time for the music. From tribute bands to flamenco, September may not have the giant festivals, but the nights are still full of rhythm.
Malaga Radio.
And now let's talk about music. September may not have the huge summer festivals anymore, but that doesn't mean the nights are quiet. In fact, this week has a really fun mix. Tribute, flamenco, and a few big names on stage.
Starting with Fuengirola on Friday the 19th, the Mare Nostrum stage welcomes Finnish rock legends Eppu Normaali. They've been filling arenas back home for decades, and now they bring that energy to the coast.
It's always fascinating when international acts pop up here. A little taste of something unexpected.
And the same night in Benalmádena, the Auditorio hosts the Guitar Legends. Think classic riffs, tribute performances, and a stage full of energy. Then on Saturday the 20th, the same venue turns to comedy with Far West, Liliana, a musical parody full of laughs.
Meanwhile, Malaga City has its own star. On Saturday the 20th, reggae favorites Green Valley are playing at Sala Trinchera. It's one of those concerts where the room will be bouncing.
And Saturday is also special inland. Benagalbón hosts the Concurso de Verdiales, a celebration of Malaga's most traditional folk music. Dozens of groups competing, the sound of fiddles and tambourines filling the night air.
Oh, Verdiales always give me goosebumps. It's such a pure Andalusian sound. A little chaotic, a lot joyful.
And to close the week, Sunday the 21st in Benahavis, a candlelight concert pitting Queen against ABBA. String quartets, hundreds of candles, and two of the most singable repertoires of all time.
That's a gorgeous way to wrap a weekend.
And let's not forget the evergreen scene, Tablo Flamenco shows running nightly in Malaga, Torremolinos clubs bringing the DJs, beach clubs still keeping the dance floors alive, and rooftop terraces with live jazz and cocktails.
So even though the big summer festivals have packed up, the Costa del Sol still sings. From verdiales in a village square to reggae in the city, from classic rock tributes to candlelit drinks.
And you'll find all the details, tickets, and links waiting for you on malagaradio.net.
Coming up next, time to lace up, stretch out, and get moving. From padel in Marbella to football at La Rosaleda, sports and outdoors is on the way.
Malaga Radio.
All right, mis amores, time to move a little. September slows down on the big sporting calendars, but that doesn't mean the cosa is quiet. There are still some great moments this week.
And one of the biggest is in Marbella, the Reserve Cup series, running from the 18th to the 20th. It's an international padel tournament drawing some of the sport's top players with serious prize money on the line. If padel's new to you, it's like tennis's cooler cousin. And Marbella is one of its world capitals.
I love that it's become part of the coast identity. You can walk through Puerto Banús and see people with rackets heading to play. It's lifestyle and sport rolled together.
And then on Sunday, the 21st, all eyes turn to Malaga's La Rosaleda Stadium. Malaga's CF Cadiz. It's not just a game, it's an atmosphere. Blue and white scarves, chants echoing through the stands, the kind of energy you feel even outside the stadium.
Football days in Malaga are special. Even if you don't have a ticket, just being in the city center as fans pour through the streets is an experience.
And of course, the outdoors here is always open, whether it's hiking the Caminito del Rey, kayaking along the cliffs of Nerca, canyoning down the Rio Verde, or taking the cable car up from Benalmádena for a mountain walk. These are year-round adventures, and September's cooler air makes them even better.
So while this week may not have a marathon or a regatta, it has world-class paddle, a proper football derby, and the great outdoors ready whenever you are.
And as always, we've got the details and booking links waiting on malagaradio.net.
And before we finish today's diarrhea, there is one last stop, the port. Let's see which ships are sailing into Malaga this week.
Malaga Radio.
And before we wrap up this week's diary, let's take a quick look at Malaga Port, because the waterfront has its own rhythm of arrivals.
Monday the 15th is quiet, but Tuesday brings a double bill. The MSC Musica is here on Terror Round, swapping out passengers for a new voyage, and alongside it, the MS New Statendam, a premium liner carrying nearly 3,000 guests.
On Wednesday, it's the Sky Princess, a real floating city with over 3,500 passengers stepping ashore.
The Thursday brings the biggest of the week, the MSC Virtuoso, one of the largest cruise ships in the world, with space for more than 6,000 people. Malaga will feel the buzz when that one docks.
Friday is special too. P&O's Arvilla makes a call with thousands of mainly UK visitors, and it's also her maiden visit to Malaga, a big moment for the port and for the city.
And on Saturday, we change pace with the boutique Viking Sky, just under 1,000 passengers, but they're the kind who love culture, museums, and gastronomy. A perfect fit for the diet we've just shared.
So, from mega ships to maiden calls to boutique luxury, Malaga Port is alive this week. And if you're listening from one of those decks, bienvenidos, welcome to the Costa del Sol.
And that brings us to the end of episode 36 of the Malaga Radio Weekly Diary.
Remember, you can always find the full blog on malagaradio.com and listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or just ask Alexa.
And of course, don't forget, every single morning, we're with you on Freshly Squeezed. From 8 to 11, Carmen and I bring you the day's weather, events, and a little bit of sparkle to get you started.
Exactly. Your morning coffee with a side of Malaga sunshine.
We'll be back next week with part 2 of our special spotlight, diving into the podcast of Malaga Radio. Until then,
plan a little, wonder a lot, and keep Malaga Radio in your pocket. Nos vemos, mis amores.